The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 674. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She is the founder of Manifesting Magic online course and is the executive producer and creator of Good Vibes, the series. And I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Nicole Maxali. Nicole, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Sure, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, so I am Queens-based artist, producer, writer here in New York, originally from San Francisco. Originally had my roots in marketing and news journalism, and then became an actor, and now I'm a motivational international speaker and travel all over the world.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Nicole, what's your cultural background?
So my cultural background is that I am a third generation Filipino-American, and I just actually got my DNA test, and it said that I am Filipino, Chinese, Basque, Portuguese, and Native American, which was like a surprise to me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Well, I have one that I live by daily. I put it all over my house. It's long, so I'll just shorten it. But part of it is, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whenever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I believe true self-confidence is really believing in yourself. And my inner belief is connected to my faith in the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. But in my own experience, when you have unwavering faith in your connection to God, it's unbreakable. And when that is unbreakable, anything that you believe, you can achieve.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Nicole, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I would say my life was full of self-doubt, a lot of crying and not knowing what I was supposed to be doing with my life, and just full of a bunch of awkward experiences. But growing up, I was so fortunate to have two loving grandmas that were super spiritual and super religious, both connected to God in their own ways. This allowed me to truly find myself and empower myself through my own connection to the universe, which unlocked all this potential and my magic of manifestation.
Thanks for sharing that. And what was that point in your life when you realized you can, be who you are today, have that confidence? What was that aha moment?
I think life is full of these aha moments. I can't pinpoint just one. I think it's constantly unraveling as we learn. And every experience we have is a learning lesson, whether good or bad. And so I think that we constantly have these learning lessons, and it attracts the people and experiences that happen in our lives, which teach us over and over again. So I don't know, it's really hard to just pinpoint one because it's a constant journey of inner growth.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think, we all go through that, right? Sometimes we go through experiences thinking why did this happen to me? Instead of, changing the way you ask the question, what can I learn from this, right?
Exactly. And that's sort of what I teach as well, is that when we put ourselves in this sort of victim mentality, we allow ourselves to give our power out. And I think that one of the aha moments was, okay, if I continue to give my power away to this person or experience, then I myself am losing self-confidence and not empowering myself. So the faster I learn this lesson and thank not the person, but maybe the universe for this experience, the faster I become more in my power.
Thanks for sharing that. And because of those realizations, what's your life been like now?
Oh, it's super magical. I've manifested so many things in my life that like most people I think wouldn't believe. Like I got married this past year. I travel the world and have other companies pay for it to help me motivational speak all over, from like China to South Korea to France to all over the US. I've performed stand-up comedy, and I got to open for like Hasan Minaj and Koy and Dave Chappelle. I have fans all over the world that write to me. And I also moved to New York and got to meet a lot of celebrities in this industry. And now my pilot is premiering at the Asian American Festival here in New York. So those are all external things, but mostly all the internal things that I manifested were huge as well, like joy and forgiveness and inner harmony. And, you know, I continue to manifest all these magical experiences, people, and connections. And one of my callings, I believe, on this earth is to help people do it as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, you know, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
You know, I would say, especially at this day and age, you know, society would love nothing more than to make you feel like you're not enough, whether that's physically, emotionally, or mentally. But I want to remind women of all backgrounds that I am here as a living example that you are enough and you have everything that you need already inside of you, that your power comes from yourself. So stop looking outside of yourself for that and work on your self-confidence and work on your connection to who you really are and what you really want in life.
Thanks for sharing that great tip. And yeah, I totally agree. You know, we have to realize that we are more than worthy to go out there and, you know, go after what we want or live our dreams. So thanks for sharing that. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do or check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Sure. So my website link is manifestingmagic.vip. My Instagram is my name, Nicole Maxali, which is spelled NicoleMaxali. And they can also find me on Twitter and Facebook with that same name.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Nicole, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Nicole's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Nicole for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Nicole.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. And thank you for having this podcast. It's so necessary and needed, especially in this day and age, for Asian women and women of color.
Thanks again for being on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to get your daily boost of confidence.